So I am going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is what I have learned from being on Substack. So let's talk about it. My name is Reverend Evelyn, and my Substack publication is called Sacred Creative Soul Speaks. Now, I am a ordained minister of spiritual consciousness, and I am also a prayer practitioner. And I found Substack in July of 2024. I kept, for whatever reason, Substack was experiencing a bit of a growth spurt at that time. And a lot of people whose email list I was on kept sending me emails inviting me to join them on Substack. I didn't even know what Substack was. So after like the third or fourth invitation, I was like, let me check out what is this Substack thing. And so I checked it out, and I created a profile, and I followed the person who had invited me, which I honestly can't even remember who that was because I just received a flurry of them. And then so that July I was at Martha's Vineyard, and so I had a lot of downtime, and I kept getting, Substack was just like buzzing, and I was reading publications, and I was scrolling through, and I was like, this is very interesting. And so I decided that I was going to give Substack a try. And if you're not aware of what it is primarily, it's an email marketing platform, but the difference is, so I already had an email list. I was using an email platform called Active Campaign. But once you send out your email, right, it's gone. I mean, unless people save the emails in their inbox, which they probably don't, the email is gone. It's off in the vapors. So what Substack has done is it's a combination of a blog and an email marketing newsletter. So you create your newsletter and you send it out, and then it saves a copy. So you have a homepage of all of your posts. So it's a blog, it's a newsletter platform, but you can also host a podcast on there. I have not done podcasting yet. And just recently, I'm going to say in the past 6 months, they have added the feature that you can go live. So you can live stream on Substack. And I have started doing that. I have created I was going to say publication, but it's like it's an event called Wisdom Wednesdays, and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, either I get on and talk about a particular topic, or I invite a guest to come on and talk about, whatever their Substack is about. I've had some beautiful guests on Wisdom Wednesday, and I actually today just sent out probably a dozen invitations to try to fill up my calendar for the first quarter of guests for Wisdom Wednesday. So, but I love Substack because it seems to be, it's a community of newsletter people who have newsletter publications, but it's also by its nature, it's a community of people who love reading and who love writing. And I'm a reader and a writer, so it's like it was perfect for me. And I have managed to cultivate, to curate a lovely little community of people, of other Substackers, I guess we call ourselves, on Substack, where we just really sort of hang out together and create together. And it's lovely. So yeah, whatever you're interested in, I bet you can find a Substack publication on that topic. So I wanted to get on here today and share a little bit about my journey on Substack, and to offer a little bit of advice that I have gained in my, I'm going to say 15 months on the platform, to help if you're thinking about joining Substack. Then, I just want to offer a few tips. What I often see is that so everybody's, unless you're importing a massive email list into, because you can, so let's say, because I was on Active Campaign, but if you're on like Kit or whatever, any of those other platforms, you can download your subscriber list and import it into Substack. So unless you come into Substack with a big fat subscriber list, everybody starts from zero. And by the way, even if you do, pardon me, even if you do import a list of people, so let's say you have 100 people on your email list. Like on my Active Campaign, I had, I think, 93 subscribers. I imported them, and like 3 people actually joined Substack and subscribed to my publication. So while you can import the entire list, if the people don't then subscribe and follow you to continue to receive emails from you, so you effectively, most people start from zero. And the most common thing that I hear Substack newbies say is that it feels like I'm writing into the void and no one's responding, and because you're new and nobody knows who you are. So you have to, I call Substack a slow burn. It's a slow burn in the beginning. You have to be willing. First of all, you have to sort of look at your intention. What is your intention for joining Substack? And because the thing that I think I haven't even mentioned in my almost 7 minutes of talking is that the beautiful thing about Substack is that it allows you to get paid to publish a newsletter. That's the kicker. Because you can, there's a bunch of places where you can create a free email list, but Substack allows you to generate revenue from it. And so I turned on paid. I joined in July of 24. My first publication was in September, my first issue, my first newsletter. And then I believe it wasn't until the end of the year, like December of 24, that I turned on payments. I always recommend people when they're starting out, just turn it on. Just turn the payments on, so that, because once you have been publishing your content for free for, like, people say, oh, I want to get to X number of subscribers before I turn on paid. Well, I don't know. I mean, my thinking is, if I've been getting a newsletter for free and now you want me to pay for it just because you have more subscribers. So I turn on paid in December. If I could go back, if I could wind back the clock, I would have started with paid subscribers sooner. So Substack lets you create paid subscribers, but I also now offer digital products. So you can generate revenue on your Substack by charging, having a paid newsletter. You can sell digital products, but you can also have a podcast, and you can have a premium podcast where people have to pay to access it. You can hold events like workshops. You can sell courses. There's all different kinds of ways that you can generate revenue on Substack. So when you're first starting, you have to figure out what is your intention. Do you want to generate revenue, or do you just want to get your writing out to the world? Now, I'm a professional writer. I have been writing for many, many years. However, for the past 20-ish years, I've been writing what could be considered ghostwriting, because it hasn't been under my name. Aside from my email newsletter, which my old newsletter that I imported into Substack, that previous newsletter, I only had it since, I'm going to say 2019. So all the other writing that I did, and when I worked, in content departments at companies, it's never gone out under my name. So this Substack publication, aside from a book of poetry that I published a few years ago, has really been my first opportunity to have my work published on the internets under my name. And so it's been a thrill. It's been a thrill. And at this point, I have about 520 subscribers, which is not a lot because, but it's a lot for me. There are some people on Substack who have thousands of subscribers and thousands of paid subscribers. I have a very niche topic. My topic is, spirituality and creativity, right? So it's a niche topic because I talk a lot about deconstruction, faith deconstruction, and deconversion. So I'm a bit of a, I guess like a renegade in that regard. So I'm an acquired taste, let's just say that. So I have about 520 subscribers. But it's coming along. It's steadily growing. My subscriber list is steadily growing, and I am pleased with my progress. So what I recommend for people when they're starting out is to, again, as I said, what is your intention? Do you want to make money? Do you want to just get your writing out under your name? Do you want to create community? Like, figure out what it is you want to do. Write your newsletter to your target audience and stick with it. Be consistent. And just stick with it. It takes a minute before people start seeing you in the feed. Also, notes. We're gonna talk about Substack Notes, which is the social media feed of Substack. But when you're first starting out, you want to just really establish yourself on the platform. Find other publications that are similar to yours, but not in direct competition. And network, that's really how I got over that hump. I joined, there is a beautiful creator on Substack. Her name is Christina God, and she has what's called online writing school, and she teaches people how to grow their Substack. And so I joined her community, and that's really where I got over the hump, because I was able to meet other like-minded Substackers and network with them. Recommendations is another important thing on Substack. So as I mentioned, when you want to be networking with other writers, other Substack publishers, what you want to do is recommend and get recommended. Now, it's not a one-for-one. In other words, just because you recommend a publication to your subscribers, it doesn't mean that they have to recommend you back. And that's something that I think some people have a little bit of a hard time grasping. But the recommendation engine is very powerful. I think I get more than 20% of my new subscribers from recommendations. And Christina God is one of my top recommenders because I'm subscribed to her newsletter. And she has she has a spreadsheet in there of the members, and you sort of go through and you find topics that resonate with your topic, and you just network. There are Substack creators who do a notes boost. So I guess I should talk about Notes first. Notes is the Substack. It's kind of like Twitter, where it's just a feed of text and pictures. There are some birds having a little bit of a party right above my head. There's about a dozen doves in that tree that are acting up. Anyway, the Notes feed is the social media feed for Substack, And notes is really the driver for growth. People get to, you post little notes like what I do is so if I publish a post on Sunday, then I'll take a little snippet of it and repost it. First, I'll repost the whole newsletter article, and then I'll pull quotes from it and pop those into the notes feed. And I'll write up different notes. I'll share pictures from my day. Pictures are very popular on notes. I have gone viral on notes one time, but it was something that was absolutely unrelated to my publication, so it didn't really do me any good, but it was very gratifying. I am a new grandma for the first time, and I posted a picture of myself holding my grandson, and that photo went viral. So it got me a bunch of followers, but followers, what you want is subscribers. So followers on Substack, has to do with notes, with your social media feed, and followers will see whatever you post in the feed. So I have 520 something subscribers, but I think I have 2,500 followers. So your followers are not going to see what you publish in your newsletter. So the trick is I get followers every day. The trick is to convert followers to subscribers. So I also follow people that I don't subscribe to. Because honestly, I think I subscribe to hundreds of publications. I can't read them all. I can't read all of the publications that I have subscribed to, but I do my best to read what I can. And we have only literally even if all I did was sit and read the publications that I was subscribed to, there still wouldn't be enough time in the day. So anyway, so we talked about Substack being a slow burn. You have to be committed, and you have to know your purpose. You find your people, and you connect with your people, and just keep writing. Just tell yourself, I'm giving this a year, or whatever the time frame you want to. But so often I hear, so there's a Substack subreddit, and I bet every week there's somebody who puts a post in that subreddit talking about, I've been on Substack for 2 weeks and I'm not getting any engagement. I'm like, dude, it's gonna take more than 2 weeks or 3 weeks to gain traction on Substack. So just keep coming back, keep posting notes, keep publishing your newsletter. Publish your newsletter, the most quality, excellent newsletter that if you had 5,000 subscribers, publish that quality of content, and the people will come. The people will come. So notes is really where you get growth from. So I publish notes, several notes a day, just sprinkled throughout the day. There's no, I don't have like a schedule. I just post them whenever, because you sort of get them into the feed. What else can I say about Substack? Just network, be consistent, and restack. So you can like, comment on people's posts, and you can restack, which is just reposting it back into the feed. And you can restack it with a note. So you can say, oh gosh, this was an interesting article. I love this. And then hit restack. And then that sends it back. And the people who follow you will see that you have reposted that. Restacking and recommending are two of the highest forms of engagement on Substack. Recommendations, I believe, is the highest, because again, I get a huge number of new subscribers from recommendations. So I love Substack, and also as a Black woman, let me just not even forget to talk about Blackstack. So there is a publication for Black Substackers called Blackstack. The author is Jackie Verbal, and if you are a a Black content creator, I definitely recommend you checking out Blackstack. Blackstack is why I stayed on Substack during those early weeks when I would have posted a message saying, I've been on Substack for so many weeks and no one's engaging with my... But then I found Jackie and Substack and Blackstack, and I found my people, I found my community. So find your community, find your people, connect, don't give up, be consistent. And Substack can be a great way for you to get your message out to the world and for you to create community around your ideas. And to find, other people who are doing things similar to you. So my name is Reverend Evelyn, and I am a minister of spiritual consciousness and a prayer practitioner. And I want you to check out my Substack publication. It's called Sacred Creative Soul Speaks on Substack. So thank you so much for joining, and I hope that you have a beautiful day. Peace.